All right, here we are again, episode number 5.
Wow, you can remember the episodes without looking at anything.
We'll see how long that lasts for.
Yeah.
Um, so our daughter is still awake, and we'll see how many times we get interrupted. But we are in the middle of renovations right now, and it has been stressful. We thought we would take the chance to record a podcast since we can't be on our main level where we usually record our podcast. We're actually in our office right now. Might sound actually better in here because
It's a smaller room,
yeah,
yeah.
sound wise. But yeah, what do you think about those renovations, Marcos?
I love how we always get ourselves into rehab and renovations, and then it
Okay,
sucks
I know.
for a few days, but then you're happy afterwards.
It's definitely worth the pain, but it's not fun at all. I mean, I'm someone who likes to have things in their place and routine and just feel like I have control over my environment. And when you have renovations, all of that is out the window.
Especially the control part.
Yeah.
Now we're at the mercy of contractors.
Yeah. So we posted some stories yesterday of what it looks like. I don't know if anybody saw that, but our house is covered in plastic and the furniture is all moved out of the way. Um, and like our table is moved out to the side. So we've just been eating there and trying to keep the kids out of there, and they're playing in the basement in their room. So yeah,
Unsuccessfully, because they still play, run around in the
yeah.
whole plastic
They
there.
think it's fun. Oh, the furniture's moved out of the way.
Yeah. We're here freaking out, having some mental breakdowns.
Yeah. But it kind of ties into our what we want to talk about today, which is taking risks. Um, I guess I'll keep talking because I was really inspired by this couple that I follow. Her name is Hannah Howlett and Derek Howlett. If anyone knows them, um, she does a lot about weight loss, but they also are just entrepreneurs and super inspiring people. And they were talking about how they have been online for so long and um, they became really successful and they built their dream home. It's like $1 million home in Arizona. And they built it with their own two hands. And they were like, well, once we took a bunch of risks to get here and now once we had it, we were like, it was great for a little bit, but now what do we do? Like we're bored. And I was like, that is so interesting to me because I've heard more than one person say that. More than one. Like I follow this other girl and they bought their dream home in 2021. And it's like I showed you the video of that girl. It's like this really old. It was like an old home from the 1700s, and it was their
Yeah,
dream home. And
I remember that.
yeah, and then they're like, we're gonna sell it. Just we need some more excitement in our life. So they want to invest in real estate. So they took the profits and they bought this little farmhouse that they're fixing up. It's like not even comparable to the other house. It's so small and just completely different. But I love seeing that because it makes you realize it's not about the end result. It's all about the journey.
It always is. That's the more fun part. That's when
Yeah.
you find yourself.
Yeah. And um the other part that was so like I loved the analogy that she made was she's like in the game of Zelda in the beginning. That's the most fun part of the game. I've never played Zelda, but I've played other video games. It's like life is a game. It's such a good analogy. It's the most fun when you're trying to find out how to survive and like gather your money or whatever you do in that game and try to figure out the way to the I don't know castle or something. I have no
Yeah.
idea.
Well, I haven't played Zelda, but I played many other games, and weirdly enough, you get to like either 85 or 90% of the game, and like at least me,
Mm-hmm.
Now that you can save, your progress and everything, not with Sega, but which dates me a little bit. Yeah, I used to play Sega Genesis. So,
Yeah.
but you get, it's not that you get bored, but it's like, well, now it's just like
Yeah.
the finish line.
You
So,
know the finish line is there soon.
yeah.
Yeah. I love thinking about it that way because when you think about it that way, it takes away all the fear from taking the risks to get there. Because the risks are the whole point of the game. That is where the most fun is, when you take those risks without any expectation of the outcome.
It kind of makes me think about a post that I saw yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. So there was an angel and God in this cloud, and God, the Zeus-like type God with
Mhm.
lightning in his hand, and telling the angel with they evolve better under pressure.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, wow, that is so true.
Hmm.
Because so all the things we know, everything that I've learned, it, who I am right now is thanks to that pressure.
Yeah,
You figure out things when you're under pressure. If you have everything easy, you're not figuring much out, really.
yeah, yeah. And what fun is it? It now this couple that I follow, like they moved to Costa Rica or something. I don't think they actually said, but to me it looks like Costa Rica, and they're gonna start over because they they were bored. So it's like, let's do it again. Let's start from zero. They even got like jobs at a coffee shop and stuff. Like they just,
In Costa Rica.
yeah, they just wanted to go back to simplicity and start over and build it. They're going to build a whole other house again. And I just find that very inspiring and interesting because it's very easy to always get caught up in thinking about, once I have this, I'll feel better, or once life is this way, everything will be better. But that's not the case. You have to feel that way right now because you know that you're in the most exciting time right now.
Yeah. If you think too much about the future, it's okay to plan, to have goals, to have dreams. That's
Right.
absolutely that's necessary, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to enjoy today. Otherwise, you're not living your life. You're living for purely for a dream.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me look at the other things. I had a lot of like thoughts, and it's hard for me sometimes when I like have.
Well, what you said about them getting a job in a coffee job
Mm-hmm.
at a coffee shop,
Mm-hmm.
and the accent is coming out there. But it just makes me think like they start from zero, and of course they probably have like money in the bank and things like that.
Oh yeah. I mean, they're gonna make a lot of money when they sell their home, but still, that's the game. Like that's just how the game is, right? Like in a video game, you cash in this and you get all this. Like she said, cash in our chips, and I was like, that's such a good way
Yeah,
to put it.
yeah, and but the part that was making me think about that is they moved to a country where do they speak the language at all?
No.
Probably not. They don't speak Spanish.
Yeah.
Okay. So you don't speak the language and they get a job, even though they probably could get by without working. But that gives you the experience in that place. That makes you immerse with the culture, with the people
Yeah, that's what
there.
they are enjoying too.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And that is part of the journey too, because if you're gonna go and live in another country and spend all your time in or
Yeah.
go on vacation and spend all your time in a five-star hotel, I mean, yeah, that has its level of enjoyment, of course.
Yeah.
But if you, like when I met you,
Hmm.
you were trying to really go into the culture of every
Yeah.
place that you were into.
Yeah, that's what I was saying this morning too, is I kind of wonder how much that's ingrained in you, when in your personality or something, because you and I have always been risk takers.
Hmm.
You dropped everything, quit your job, and just came to the hostel where I was staying. And I was like screw it, I'm going to go backpacking by myself in South America. And before that, I had gone and studied abroad, and
Yeah, but that was more planned, or but
yeah, it
it
was,
still is
but
a risk, right?
the things I did were always a little different than everybody else because I was more about adventure. I don't know. I feel that is that something that you can learn? I kind of wonder. It's all in that one decision, right? That one time when for you is that one decision to just quit your job and go to Bariloche.
Yeah,
And that's when your whole life could change if you just like get over that fear and just do it.
that's when it did change. That
Yeah.
that simple decision brought me to today.
Yeah, I know. You
Like,
never know what could happen. Like
yeah,
in another dimension, what are you doing if you didn't make that
right?
decision?
Well, or if I just went for the weekend, like there are so many possibilities with that decision that I made.
Yeah.
Because so my friend Nando was insisting for me to go visit our other friend Diego, who got a job at a managing a hostel. He was
Yeah.
backpacking Renata Mani, and like he was smoking a joint with a German woman, and she ended up being the owner of the hostel and offered him a job. I was talking for the longest time with him. Nando said, "I'm gonna go visit Diego for 10 days. You wanna come for a weekend?" And 2 hours later, I quit my job. I bought
Yeah.
plane
Like all
tickets.
this in a matter of hours.
Yeah, yeah. Like Nanda just invited me for a weekend,
Yeah.
and I stayed for a month.
Yeah.
Not Diego didn't even know that I was coming. Even
Yeah, especially in your 20s. Like that is the time to make crazy decisions and just like live life like that because
yeah.
I'm so glad we did all of that.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It was so fun.
I mean, and then not only like we had experiences there. I met you. I met a bunch of other people from all over the world that opened my mind to
Yeah.
different cultures and kind of broke down preconceived notions that I had from different people from different parts of the world.
Hmm. Yeah, that's what traveling will do to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, one of the things I wrote in here was let me get back to it. So, taking risks is how you feel the excitement of life. It is being alive. You have to take risks. There is no way around it. If you have a dream, you will have to take a risk on the journey to achieving it. There is no other way.
True that.
Yeah. And we were just talking about if you don't take it, you'll never know what it could have been.
Yeah. Yeah. Every decision leads you to something different.
Yeah. It's so important to take risks. That feeling that I get when I think about it is just, it's how you feel alive. It's how you feel excitement in life. Doing something you've never done, deciding to do something crazy, just putting aside all of your fear and just being like, fuck it, I'm doing this. You can do that in little ways or big ways. And it's just, we're taught in society as we grow up to play it safe. I think we've just been taught all of these ideas about this will happen if you don't save all your money or
Well, it's
you
about
don't get to go to
especially
college and stuff like that.
yeah, especially here in the United States. I think like there's a path that people think they need to follow, which is
Yes.
finish high school, go to college. Finish college if it's okay with just those 4 years, get a job, save money, buy a house, buy a car, have a family, work 9 to 5 the rest of your life, retire with some money in a 401k.
Yeah. What risk was taken there?
None.
That's the thing is the majority of people are never taking any risks. And I think that's just taking so much away from like humanity as a whole.
Who was I listening to? If I remember, I'll say it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in I remember it was a female, but she was saying we're supposed to, before the Industrial Revolution, we were all artisans and basically entrepreneurs.
Yeah, that was Simplifying Sam.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I took note of that because if you take a look at how society, how they tell you it should be, it's basically spend 22 years studying and spending money to study, to invest in getting a job working for someone else.
Yeah.
And without offending anyone, but that's the stupidest thing that you can do.
Mm-hmm.
That's super high risk. You're at the mercy of an employer, at the mercy of a corporation. And when things get hard in the economy,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to be in the chopping board.
Yeah, and I think about it differently too. Like it's super high risk because you're risking your life. You live once. You're risking living.
Yeah. Not
Living a
only living,
meaningful life.
yeah. And not only living like 2 or 1.5 days a week.
Yeah.
And then like maybe 2 weeks out of a vacation,
Mm-hmm.
a year, and that's about it.
Yeah.
But if you get the right kind of the company to work for,
Mm-hmm.
maybe in 3 years they give you 3 weeks,
Yeah.
and in
I
5
remember.
years they give you a month.
I know, yeah, and we used to talk about stuff like that, and it would piss me off so much. I'd be like, "Oh God, why do they only give you 2 weeks this year?" Like, do you remember that?
Yeah, yeah, because we didn't have enough time to go do anything really.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, so annoying to me. I hated that feeling. We talked about this in the last podcast. My job, I just like that's the only. Our dog is here, and she's like licking her feet and stuff. Sorry if you can hear that. um, that's the only corporate job I've ever had, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it didn't last even a year.
Yeah, well, you work for many, many places. It's just that.
I don't remember. Oh yeah, I used to work for New Horizon. So no, before I went back to school for interior design. And I liked some part of that because I loved kids and I had flexibility a little bit with because I was a substitute teacher, but yeah, just never. I could never sit in an office. uh-uh.
Well, I did it,
I know.
and I did it because the alternative was different. Like for me, that was an improvement.
Yeah, for sure. And you had a different perspective.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that's the other thing too. That's why there's people that come here to America, even without documents, even without speaking the language,
Mm-hmm.
make a lot of money doing the tasks that
No one
people
to.
don't want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say it in every episode. It's all about perspective. Like that's my favorite quote is Albert Einstein. I think it was Albert Einstein who said, "It's all relative."
Yeah, in
That's
a
my
different
favorite quote.
context.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but it's all relative.
Mhm.
So take those risks, guys. Just don't even think about it. Just do it. Jump into the pool, like we said, that has no water in the last podcast. Or was it a couple ones ago?
Yeah, whatever it is, but that's what you have to do. If I wouldn't have taken the risk and the almost impulsive decision
Mm-hmm.
of just quitting my job, like maybe
Mm-hmm.
I didn't need to quit,
Yeah.
but I think that our friendship first was forged
Mm-hmm.
because I quit because I had the time to spend there.
Yeah.
So that had to do with it. Otherwise, like I would have met you for a weekend, and that would have been it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that would have been you just would have been another person at the hostel who we
Mm-hmm.
drank and partied with and then bye.
Yeah.
But I think that's one of the biggest risks that people perceive right now is quitting their job. Like that's one of the biggest fears a lot of people have is like, what am I? Because it's so hard to get out of that mindset of 9 to 5 and how you make your own money instead of making that paycheck. And so we've been there. Marcos especially, we talked about it in our last podcast. We know what it's like to just be like, quit your job, and we're sort of in that situation now even. And I think this podcast will come out. No, it will come out before. So
Before.
I don't know if we want to say anything.
Well, let's say that we're about to make some decisions.
Yeah, you can guess. We'll talk about it. We have to talk about these things. I know it's like harder for you to talk about like more personal stuff like that, but
Okay, let's just talk about it. Fuck it.
I don't know if anybody at your work even listens to our podcast.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can hear Romy, I think. We'll do a pause here so we can go check on our daughter. Yep, she was awake and running around. She's a night owl. It's hard to get her to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, we have a tight schedule tomorrow with leaving the house and stuff for the workers to get shit done. So
yeah,
she'll be tired tomorrow.
I don't know if you guys heard that, but that was our dog.
Yeah, she kind of talks to us with weird sounds that sound like snorting.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you want to talk about
Yes,
this.
let's talk about it.
Okay, Marcos is ready to talk about it. Go right ahead.
What?
Okay, so tell us, without it becoming too long, just say, maybe we'll just, everyone knows that Marcos has a job in insurance, and it started out as more of a 9 to 5 job that he got back last winter. And that was when we kind of went back into our lack mindset, I guess you could say. And we were thinking, oh no, what are we going to do?
Yeah, like mindset and fear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's your job, so you talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, it was great at the beginning, right? Like, it gave us some more structure to our day. I think at the beginning I was thankful. I knew I would get home before 6 for sure. Have dinner, spend time with the kids. It was like freeing in a way. But then month after month, especially when you keep doing your entrepreneurial duties, it becomes very time consuming and overwhelming. And sometimes there were days that I wasn't even focused on the job itself. And well, I had the chance to at least, start doing it from home more, which helped for a few months. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, and then, well, I moved away from actually getting paid a salary. And once I didn't have that, I found out that the tasks that I was doing were producing less money than similar tasks that would take the same or less time even, that would produce a lot more money.
In real estate.
Well, yes, in real estate. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of like a wake-up call to me, especially with our expenses the way they are right now. If I'm going to focus 40 to 45 hours a week to something, mm-hmm. it better make me $250,000 a year, mm-hmm. or more.
Yeah.
And not just, and of course, insurance, if you're in insurance, it's a great way to build, a book of business and everything, but I'm not in the building part of it right now. I'm in the part where I need to make money right now.
Yeah, that. And did you even or even passionate about it at all?
I mean, I like insurance. I like
Yeah,
it.
you like it,
I
and
like
it's
helping people
yeah,
with that. I mean, there is a lot of ignorance around insurance, and I try to, especially in the Hispanic community, there's a lot of people that
yeah,
need to understand insurance, and not only in the Hispanic community, there's people that need to understand what you're paying for when you're paying for insurance and all the different parts of it, because
yeah. I think it's a misunderstood thing
it's a
because
completely
people think about health insurance. It's not really the same with car insurance, home insurance,
correct.
stuff like that.
It's not the same. Like there are several different parts of insurance that would help you if you have the correct coverage. The thing is that in order for me to see insurance as a viable career, I
Mhm.
would have to open up my own agency.
Right, which we would do if that was um, our goal, if
Yeah,
that was something we wanted to do, and we even thought about it. But our true passion lies in real estate,
yeah,
and this teaching people about our journey, showing people our journey of thinking abundantly, living a life with financial freedom, and living a life that you want to live instead of, you know, 9 to 5 rat race.
but in part of the reason too is this last, I would say this last quarter of the year has brought a lot of rapid change to us,
Mm-hmm.
even before the last quarter too. Like I
Yeah,
think the second half brought change, but it accelerated in the last quarter a lot.
yeah, which is interesting because this was a harder year for us, but this year we grew much more than I would say other years. Like I said, I have a really bad memory, but I feel like a completely different person right now than I did a year ago. My mindset, my beliefs and feeling in general about making money and living life without fear and all of these things that we've started just really talking about deeply and everything.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I got a job at the beginning of the year, so I'm a different person than back then.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was part of that was part of the lesson.
Definitely.
Yeah, we had to do that.
Yeah, and experience that kind of it's a reminder of of various things. One is a reminder of what you don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're telling me that you like going to a place from 8:30 a.m. until 5:30 p.m. Monday through Friday and having to ask for permission to go do whatever else, that's to me that's not um
Yeah, most people would probably want freedom. But the thing is that I think you can relate to those people because you even thought to yourself, I like this, you
yeah.
know? And so I'm not saying you lie to yourself, but you're a little bit, maybe you kind of lie to yourself and you're suppressing some
Real that
feelings,
yeah.
yeah, that what you really want because you're afraid of what would happen if you admitted that and
Well, not only if you admitted that, but like having a job, it means in your head, and this is why people get caught up in this 9 to 5, 401k type career, and that's the safe thing, quote unquote, right?
mm-hmm.
It's not, but that's what people think, what most people think, because you think that you're not gonna get fired, you're you're gonna perform good enough, and you have a paycheck at the end of every week or every 2 weeks or once a month, however you get paid,
Mm-hmm.
you are counting on that. You can count on that. When you're an entrepreneur, you need to produce it yourself. So when I removed the salary part of the equation, I realized that my attention wasn't going to the tasks that made me a
Hmm.
little bit of money, was going to the tasks that were making me a lot of money.
Right.
And and also it truly is a passion thing.
Yeah.
If you're not passionate, 100% passionate about what you're doing, even though I like helping people, I like helping people with real estate more.
Right.
That doesn't mean that I don't know about insurance, that I can't,
Yeah, because
but
imagine it this way. We don't talk about insurance every day. Like,
or every waking hour.
yeah, and it's not our lifestyle. Real estate has become our lifestyle, and it doesn't even phase us. Like talking, it's not like, oh, let's not talk about work anymore, because we love talking about it and we talk about it all the time. I don't know. It's not work to us.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, sometimes it is. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes you get overwhelmed, and you're like, okay, I
Not
need a
real
little
estate.
break.
It's honestly just dealing with people, in my opinion.
Yeah,
But that's what comes with any job. It's hard sometimes, but
yeah. But yeah, that's the story about that
mhm,
change there.
mhm,
And it is just when you go into something with fear, with the, with feelings of fear and lack of mindset.
yeah, which you did. Yeah, it's not going to be the right thing.
No, no.
No.
And it wasn't bad. It's probably out of all the jobs, it was the best job that I had.
Right? Yeah, if you would have
Like,
had that job like 3 years ago, things would have probably been different.
I don't know if 3 years ago we started our business, 3 years ago it would have been the same.
Okay, 4 years ago.
Yeah, I would say 4 or 5 years ago, maybe even more.
Maybe we wouldn't have started our business so soon, but like
Hmm.
you need that pressure. You it's the contrast. You don't like something, so you make a change. And yeah.
And unfortunately, it's not that I'm unemployable right now, but it's really hard to work for someone else once you have been working for yourself.
Hmm.
It, it is the freedom is just like that's the key word. It's freedom.
It is all about freedom.
I can with real estate I can put a house on the market from Florida, and we've done that.
Hmm. Well, yeah, and it's we ha- I would so much rather have all of this freedom than and fuck it all up and lose everything and at
And
the
go back to a 9 to 5 job.
nope, and I still
Mm.
wouldn't. I'm just saying I would much rather live like that, and even if it did all go to shit, then I don't like I would have never I would have wouldn't look back and say, "Oh, I wish I wouldn't have done that and gotten a 9 to 5 job instead." I would never say that.
Oh no, never. No, the risk, the satisfaction of knowing that you at least tried.
Hmm. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like if you fail, you would never think back and wish you had stayed in your 9 to 5 job.
Yeah, what I
I
was,
think that's what I was trying to say.
yeah, and what I was trying to say with interrupting you with the 9 to 5 thing is that you can always go back to that.
Yeah,
Always, doesn't matter how old you are. There's a place that's gonna hire you.
yeah, for sure.
If you need to pay bills, there's always a job out there.
Yeah.
You may not like it, you may fucking hate it,
Hmm. But if
but
you need to, you can, and then that's okay because that's what you did, and that's okay to do that. I think we're hard on ourselves sometimes, and we're like, God, I should, shouldn't have done that, or
it's part of the journey.
yeah,
It's part of the learning experience.
yeah. Everybody has their story. That's part of ours. So I think we got some good stuff in this one. We went a little bit deeper, didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm scared.
I'm scared. The way you said that. Oh my gosh. Um, okay, let's take that risk. Let's just shove it out there for all the world to see and hear.
To hear.
Yeah, like here, I guess you're right. We're not filming. Um, yeah, that's what we're doing. I think for us, this is one of the risks we're taking.
Yeah.
So it's
To
not a big risk, but it's
it,
harder for it's been weird being more ourself, not like super professional or something. I don't know. We're just more, we're sitting in our house trying to just have conversations.
yeah,
So,
it is weird because once you free your mind from all that baggage,
mhm,
like, oh, I have to do this and I have to do that, and this is the way I'm supposed to, this is the path or whatever, whether it is a 9 to 5 or the tasks as a um, entrepreneur,
mhm,
and you get caught up in the, oh, I need the next client and I need this, blah, 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 blah.
mhm,
Once you free your mind and free yourself from all that and just try to enjoy and truly make sure that you're doing what, not only what fulfills you, but like what's actually important for your business,
mhm.
you're busier actually.
Yeah,
I feel busier now. I even
things
if I,
come to you,
yeah,
and you always somehow will have business.
yeah,
That's been our experience.
yeah, it's about energy exchange.
Hmm.
And I think we always touch this part about money being that exchange of energy.
Hmm. We
And
did.
we provide services, basically. We provide knowledge, and we I like to think that we truly help people with very hard and unique situations.
Yeah, yeah, because for us, it's exciting to think about solutions and help people find that solution, and then they can relax and just live a better life. And I love doing that.
Yeah.
It's fun.
And I think there's value, and I understand we talk about too a lot how we come from different backgrounds
Hmm.
and how we can relate to many different people. You know the struggles probably of the middle upper class, and I know the struggles of the middle lower class. So we have
Yeah,
a big spectrum of
yeah.
understanding, and by being together, you kind of understand also, like, you know, a little bit of my class of people, and I understand a little bit
Hmm.
more of your. So
Even though at the end of the day, there's really not that much difference, right?
no,
Hmm.
and we
And
all struggle at
hmm,
different levels. There's lack of mindset in the whole
yeah,
spectrum.
you can, like you say, you can be you can have a lack mindset and be a millionaire.
Yeah, if because you can be a millionaire and think that you're gonna lose it all, and it's never enough.
Hmm. It's
Like,
never know.
there's people that have $10 million in their bank account, and they're like, no, but I need 100 million to,
Yeah,
otherwise.
the bar will always be set higher
And there's people
if you
making 50
don't,
grand a year that are super happy.
right. If you don't figure out how to be comfortable with where you're at right now, then the bar will always be set higher,
Yeah.
and you'll reach your goal, and it will feel normal,
Yeah.
and then you'll be like, you'll have the same thoughts and beliefs that you did before, and then it will have to be double that.
Mm-hmm. That's why it's good to look at your path to know how far you've come,
Yeah.
especially when you're doing entrepreneurship stuff. I think that ours is real estate. When I look at myself 10 years ago, I look at myself just starting having my first listing
Mm-hmm.
and dreaming of like, oh, I wish I could have like one of these a month, or at least like, not even one of these a month, just a handful a year,
Yeah.
and like maybe a couple buyers here and there. And with that, I know I can live with that. And now 10 years later, I'm like, well, buddy, you know,
Yeah.
that that was 10 years ago, and now it's that or more. And it's like, okay, now I know that I can trust that.
Mm-hmm.
You keep working, of course. It's not, there's not a time that we don't work, but it's working differently, realizing that stopping by somebody's house and having an hour-long conversation in real estate, especially as a realtor, could
Mm-hmm.
bring you 5 listings.
Yeah.
Going out and drinking a beer could bring you a couple buyers.
Right.
It's just, and that's just as a realtor.
Mm-hmm.
Like as a consultor, as a consultant.
Tent.
Yeah. It
Mm-hmm.
it just, if you open yourself up to the magic.
Mm-hmm. I've been telling you that for years.
And that's why you put that face. That's why I said it, because I knew you were going to be like, oh,
Magic is real,
really?
guys. I've been trying to tell Marcos that forever.
I mean, I knew intuitively that that was
Mm-hmm.
the case. I talk about that a lot with my therapist now,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of funny because when you have kids, your mentality changes. You become more conservative in your actions and everything. It's kind of funny because when our kids were born, actually, we became crazier with our decisions.
Yeah.
Um, and
We did.
we we kind of developed this because I became more conservative when I moved to the United States. Because when we met, I was like, let's do this, let's do that, then boom, 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 and then like suddenly at some point, I became more conservative with my decisions, which is weird. And then when we had kids, we were like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah. Let's just take all those risks and see what happens.
Mm-hmm. But going back to what you were saying, we are able to take those risks because we've taken even bigger risks before, and they pan out just fine.
Mm-hmm.
To me, so is what I say about coming to the United States. I came to this country with a backpack and a guitar,
Mm-hmm.
and now I have a business. I have everything that I have. I'm not gonna say everything that I have, but I'm amazed with that. I seriously had only a backpack and a guitar, and I
Mm-hmm.
built all this. To me, it's a massive win.
Mm-hmm.
It's proof that if you really want to do something, you can.
100%.
It doesn't matter if it takes you. Some people, it takes them a year or less, or months maybe. They're
Yeah.
lucky. It may take you 10 years
Yep.
to truly admire yourself. Who was it? I can never truly say his name. This actor, Matthew McConaughey.
What do you call him?
No, no, that's. I always mix up names, or I make up names when
Yeah.
I can't pronounce them. Like Benedict Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch is his name. Yeah. What do you call
Yeah,
him? Cucumber or
David
something?
David Cucumber, because
David
I couldn't
Cucumber.
remember that his name was Benedict, so I just said David.
That must be a weird name when you speak in your Spanish as your first language.
Yeah,
Benedict.
yeah, but well, no, because it's Benedicto.
Oh,
You know,
Cumberbatch is
yeah, Cumber, yeah,
it's just a weird name anyway.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Cumberbatch was I don't know what I'm saying, and it sounds weird.
Cucumber.
Yeah, so like Cucumber, yeah, David Cucumber, Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Well,
but
what did Matthew McConaughey say?
when they ask him who's the man that, or the person that he most admires, and I think that this wasn't the speech when he got the Oscar or something,
Mm-hmm.
he said, I admire myself in 10 years.
Interesting.
And I'm like, wow, that's huge right there.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know that you need to live in the present. But if you live in the present and you don't have goals, because
Mm-hmm.
dreams become goals. And once you know what the goals are, then you just need to break it down in steps, and then
Mm-hmm.
you live life as you're trying to achieve that, and you
Mm-hmm.
find yourself, and maybe that dream and goal like completely changes.
Mm-hmm.
It happened to me when I was a kid and started playing basketball. I wanted to play in the NBA. Then that changed when I grabbed the guitar. I wanted to be a rock star.
Mm-hmm.
And then, it just keeps changing all the time.
Yep.
And when I was even an even younger kid, I wanted to be a comic book drawer.
Mm-hmm.
It is just all those things that it's always something creative,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Um, I wanted to be a radio host, and here I am,
Yeah. There
doing a
you
podcast.
go.
So some things do really come true, even
Yeah.
though,
I always say if you don't know what you want to do, think about what you loved as a child or what you were passionate about, what you were interested in, because I think that that's where you'll find your true purpose, meaning, I believe in the soul, so your soul came here with that purpose and um
when you're a kid, you have a lot more intuition.
yeah. Like our son who is obsessed with cars and his third word was car. I would bet money that he's gonna do something with cars.
Yeah,
So
whatever that is. Maybe it's being a mechanic. Maybe it's being a F1 driver.
yeah, and it's like it's not just a regular boy who loves cars. Like it's a weird
It,
obsession with cars.
yeah, it's an obsession. You give him any toy that's not a car, and he's like, "But where's the car?"
Yeah. Yeah. So mine, funnily enough, was houses. I
Nice.
was obsessed with houses. I've told you that though.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since I was little, I loved spaces and houses and thinking about how I was going to decorate my room and change it up and how I could build this really cool vaulted bed and stuff and like secret door and all this cool stuff. So I'm where I'm meant to be.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I don't know. That makes me think here, and I'm doing some therapy with you and with everyone that's listening right now, actually, and kind of thinking a little bit. When when you grow up poor, right?
Mm-hmm.
You dream about
Yeah.
all this, like in Argentina would be like being a soccer player and being like Messi or Ronaldo and like super millionaire and like
Mm-hmm.
having a Ferrari or whatever the fuck it is. And to me, it was, I remember um, when I was listening to, was it Rockstar from Nickelback?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, and hearing those lyrics, and because even though I didn't speak fully English, I understood the lyrics. Like that
Mm-hmm.
that was part of why I learned how to speak in English, because I would listen to rock and roll a lot. And in listening to that, I was like, yeah, I like those lyrics because that's what I want. And I was thinking about the house.
Yeah.
I grew up in a very small house that's the size of probably two of our bedrooms now.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah. It must have been maybe 500 square feet.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And when you grow up in a little house like that, you pay attention to other houses
Yeah.
a lot more. And I was always looking at like the brokerages in Ballester, where I'm from, in Buenos Aires. I was looking at like they would put, I don't know if that ever happened here, but they in their windows, they, remember when you were living there that they would put all the apartments and like pictures and details of
Yes. Mm-hmm.
each
On the window.
house. Yeah,
Yeah. Old school.
yeah, yeah. And I would stop by there and kind of like dream about being able to to buy something.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I got older, dream about being able to rent something, because
Mm-hmm.
it's like I'm never gonna buy anything, so at least rent. And here I am,
Here you are.
owning multiple properties and buying and selling and like just
Mm-hmm.
rocking.
Yeah. So wherever you are, you're on your right path, no
Always.
matter what stage you're at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it takes time.
Mm-hmm. But I think we should cut this. It's been 51 minutes, so it's been a good long podcast.
Nice.
And our daughter is still awake. And what time is it? It's like 9 something.
Oh no.
So we're gonna go get her down to sleep, and I'm gonna edit this while I'm laying there waiting for her to fall asleep.
So maybe it's not going to be 51 minutes, but
Yeah, maybe a few minutes less. But thank you so much for listening. We hope that you enjoyed this episode, and we will be back next week.